welcome to my channel. I'm Ashley. Today we will be doing 3 smoker recipes. We will be using our Traeger today. So first, as you see, I have a tin container of drumsticks. They're all ready to go for the smoker. What I did last night to prep these is I made a dry rub, which is kind of what you can see on these. So the dry rub is brown sugar, smoked paprika, I'm kind of looking at my phone, coarse salt, so I used fleur de sel, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I used a little bit of cumin and cayenne pepper. I just did a little bit. If you want more heat, add more. I will make sure that I have the recipe down below of what I use. Again, I don't really follow recipes to a T per se, so I kind of did my own thing. So I will put the recipe that I followed and then the recipe that I actually made myself. So I kind of wrote down what I used. And then I doubled the recipe, the original recipe, so I'll try to make sure in the description down below that I add that, because this is 5 pounds of drumsticks here. So I have these ready to go for the smoker, so let's go out and put these on the smoker. We're going to do about 2 to 2.5 hours on 250. Okay, so we're putting these directly on the grates and we're not going to touch them for the 2.5 hours. So you want these pretty well spaced out. We just have to make sure that we have room for the potatoes as well, which we will have plenty of room. Okay, that's it. We will come back in about 2.5 hours. So let's get started with our second recipe. So our second recipe is going to be party potatoes, also known as, I think, funeral potatoes, cheesy potatoes, just without that crunchy cereal like cornflake topping on top. I just do cheese on the top. I just like that better. I prefer that better. Okay, so usually you would do 350 degrees for 1 hour with this recipe. I'm going to do 250 for about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, see where that gets me. So right now I kind of have everything laid out. I'm going to start by getting my hash browns in my bowl, and then we're going to cook our onions. Okay, so in my pan, I have 1 small onion. We're just gonna sweat it out, and then I'm gonna add 3 cloves of garlic here in a second. I'm just gonna let those cook down just a little bit more. And I just threw a little bit of olive oil. I actually threw in this garlic olive oil. I got this in Galena, Illinois. So while that's cooking in the background here, let's get our hash browns in our bowl. So we need 2 pounds. I have a 4-pound bag here, so I'm just going to do half this bag. Kind of eyeball half. It'll be fine. And with this, I have learned many times over making this, use the absolute biggest bowl you have. This is not the biggest bowl, but this is the biggest bowl that is in my kitchen, because I don't want to go down to the basement and get my other one. So this will do it. Okay, so let's add our garlic. And if you don't want this much garlic, don't use this much. I love garlic, so I'm using the full 3 cloves. Okay, that's probably about good, so I'm going to take this off the heat. And I also did put some of this red garlic Kinder seasoning in it. I love this stuff. If you don't have this, run. Do not walk. Run to Walmart to get these. I have literally, like, I think 2 extra bottles in my pantry of this. I'm not kidding. I use this. I bought this maybe like a week ago, and like I literally use it in everything. It's so good. We have the hash browns in the bowl. Let's just literally add everything. So we have our hash browns. We're gonna add our onions and garlic that we just cooked up on the stove. Let's add our sour cream. So we need 1 pint, which is 2 cups. Which I think is pretty much most of this. I don't know. Let's see if I can get this open. Okay, so here's 1 cup. Okay, so non-stick butter melted. So I have that right here already melted. I just melted it in the microwave. Right here. I'm just going to get all that buttery goodness. And then I don't want to forget to say it. With my pan, I put a little bit of butter on the actual pan. Because there's so much butter in here, you shouldn't need it. I don't really have a huge horrible time with sticking. Again, I've never made this on the smoker. This is my first time, but pretty much everything I've read is it's the same as an oven, so you should be okay. I just spread a little bit of what was left on the paper portion of the butter. And then 1 can cream of chicken. I just have the Walmart brand. And this is really gross. Now we need salt and pepper. So it's roughly, I think they say 1 teaspoon of salt. I just kind of eyeball it. You have unflavored, you know, hash browns, so you'll need quite a bit of salt. That's probably good. And then quite a bit of pepper. They say, I think, about half a teaspoon. If you know me, I love pepper, so we're gonna do, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, that's probably good. And then I'm going to, again, add this Kinder seasoning. It's almost gone, so I'm just gonna take the tap off the top off. That's good. Okay, and then we need our cheese. So it says about 2 cups of cheese. So I have these little cubes here. I'm gonna add those as well, so that way I have some extra cheese saved for the top. So I have those, I don't know, maybe like 1/4 of a cup, 1/2 cup there. And I'm going to do probably about 3/4 this package here. Just want a little bit for the top. And then we're literally just gonna mix this up. Let's dump this in our pan and get this on the smoker here. Let's see if I can do this gracefully. Okay, you're just gonna smooth it out best you can. I always just put a little bit of salt and pepper over the top. Nothing crazy. And of course a little bit of Kinder's. It's almost gone, so I'm just gonna. There's like nothing in here, so we'll just use the rest of that. Okay. And then top it with cheese, and you can put it on the smoker. Okay, let's go put it on the smoker. Okay, so let's make some chocolate chip cookies for the smoker here. So I have everything kind of prepped and ready to go. I have 1 cup of butter. I am using salted, so I'm just gonna omit the salt completely from the recipe here. So I have 1 cup of butter softened back behind me, and then I have in my little mixing bowl here, I have 1 cup of white sugar and, nope, sorry, 1 cup brown sugar, 1/2 cup white sugar. Then in this bowl here, I have my flour and baking soda. So I have 2 3/4 cup flour and 1 teaspoon baking soda. So let's kind of mix everything up here. Okay, so in my stand mixer here, I have my 1 cup brown sugar, 1/2 cup white sugar, and my 2 sticks or 1 cup of butter. Let's just go ahead and cream that together here. Okay, so that is looking pretty good here. Let's go ahead and add our 2 eggs, 1 at a time, and then our tablespoon of vanilla. Okay, so eggs 1 at a time here. Okay, we'll mix that one in. Okay, so I just wiped down the sides of the spatula here. Now let's put our other egg in and our vanilla. Okay, last egg is in there. And then it says 1 tablespoon vanilla. If you know anything, I don't measure vanilla. That's good. Tiny bit more. Now let's mix this up and we'll add our flour in. Okay, so that's perfect there. Now let's add in a little bit of our flour at a time. This is again my 2 3/4 cup flour and 1 teaspoon baking soda. Again, if you're using unsalted butter, add your 1 teaspoon of salt into this. I'm using salted butter, so I'm not adding that. So let's go ahead and start with some of our flour here. Okay, I did about half there, so let's get that all mixed in. Okay, we dumped some down the side, but that's all right. Okay. Oops, kind of got a flour puff there, that's all right. I'm gonna just want everything incorporated there. Okay, that's about good. Let's go ahead and add our chocolate chips in. Add in our 2 cups of chocolate chips. I'm just using the semi-sweet chocolate chips. This is about 4 cups in this bag, so I'm going to use about half here. So about right there. Okay, and then I also have a tiny bit of mini chocolate chips left that I'm going to dump in there. Okay, and you just need that incorporated. All right, it looks like those are about good. Okay, so now I'm just going to cover this with a little bit of plastic wrap and stick this in the fridge just to chill for a few minutes. Maybe that was the worst cut ever. Okay, I stick these in the fridge. It's 4 minutes to 11, so in about half an hour we'll pull most of everything, I believe, off of the smoker, if not around 11:45, and then as soon as everything's off, we will up the temperature on the smoker to 375 and smoke these. Making a charcuterie board as well. Say that wrong, sorry. I just have some Genoa salami here. I'm gonna make a salami rose. So literally you just take pieces and you just fold them over. I find that a mason jar works the best for me. You could use a wine glass, any glass you have, and you just kind of literally go around. I do about 4 per circle. Since everything's about done, let's go ahead and put some of our cookies on our cookie sheet. We're just going to use a normal cookie sheet with parchment paper. Make sure it's parchment paper. This is to prevent any spreading of the cookies and prevent them browning since you are putting them on your Traeger. So let's go ahead and just do it as you normally would. Okay, so there are our cookies on our cookie sheet there. Once everything is pulled off the smoker here in a few minutes, we will get these on the smoker at 375 for about 10 minutes. Here is everything. We're gonna pull the chicken off and the potatoes, and we'll just probably put them in the oven to keep warm here. All right, here is our smoked chicken drumsticks. They smell so good. And here is our smoked cheesy potato casserole, party potatoes, funeral potatoes, whatever you want to call them. Today it's Father's Day, so it can be Father's Day potatoes, whatever you want to call them. And so I'm going to actually stick these in the oven. I just have the oven over here at 200, just kind of warming. And then my boyfriend is currently upping the temp to 375 on the Traeger, and then we will put these in. Okay, here is my Father's Day charcuterie board. So I know I just did a quick time lapse over this, so let's do a quick what everything is. So I have my Genoa salami, salami rolls, I have Ritz crackers, I have the Everything Bagel Seasoning crackers. They're just a Good and Gather Target brand. I have some honeydew, some, oh, what is that? I have some cantaloupe, some Ritz cheese mini crackers, pistachios, Kobe Jack cheese from the Walmart deli. I have some homegrown strawberries, some cheddar popcorn from a kettle corn stand that I got yesterday, and then just some vanilla wafers because my dad really likes those. We're putting the cookies on. It burns through pellets pretty quickly, so we're just sticking it on really quick. We'll come back in about 8 to 10 minutes.